Hi guys, I want to show you a little study I did. In Revelation, they have 7 trumpets and 7 bowls. They are one and the same. One is judgments and one is the fulfillment. That's why it's bowls. You know how you fill up a bowl? It's filled. This is the judgment and it's filled. So in Revelation 8:7, 8:2 says the 7 judgments or 7 trumpets. Revelation 8:7 says it's hail and fire mixed with blood. And this burns up the trees, the grass, and the land. Those are the judgments. This is the bowls. Revelation 8:7. It's the invasion of Judea by Roman armies through Vespasian. And they are actually catapults. And they have fireballs in them. And so when they're thrown over the walls, it burns up all the trees, the grass, and the land. And there were diseases on all the people at the time as well. So now we go to Revelation 8:8, and it says it was a huge mountain on fire thrown into the sea. And then a third of the sea became blood, and a third of the creatures in the sea died, and a third of the ships were destroyed. So that was the judgment. The bowl, this is the battle at Joppa. There were dead bodies from all the battles that were thrown into the sea. All the fish died. All the water was contaminated from all the dead bodies. Actually, the War of the Jews from Flavius Josephus says the water was so contaminated. It stunk. The whole air was full of stench from it. And so that's what the huge mountain of fire thrown into the sea was. It was all the dead bodies of people, a mountain of dead bodies that was thrown into the sea, and it turned it into a third of blood. A third of the creatures died, like the fish and them all died from the contamination, and then a third of the ships destroyed. You see, they battled through ships back then. And so the ships were battling, and War of the Jews actually speaks about this battle that went on with the ships. It's pretty crazy listening to it, how that they would throw the dead bodies off the ships into the water. So the third trumpet is Revelation 8:10. It's stars that fall from the sky into the rivers and the springs. This is where it's called wormwood. And a third of the day, it made the waters to become bitter, and many died. Okay, so that was the judgment. That was the zealots. We had a faction of zealots. We actually had 3 different factions, but we had one faction of zealots. They were Jewish people that were really zealous about the law. They wanted to keep the law going. They didn't want to believe in Jesus, that he was the Christ, that they had to follow the law no matter what. They went through and poisoned the water sources. And so when they did that, the wormwood is called mean bitterness and death from their own people. That's why it's called the wormwood. Anyway, they did that, and that's what made the waters become bitter and made many people die, because it actually attacked the rivers and springs. So the fourth trumpet, it's actually Revelation 8:12, and it's a third of the sun, a third of the moon, a third of the stars, and a third of these turn dark, a third of the day without light, and a third of the night without light. That was the trumpet. Now let's look at the bowl, the fulfillment of it. That's when Titus destroyed the city. So when he destroyed the city, there was a whole bunch of smoke and fire that came up from the major burning of this city. It blotted out the sun, the moon, and the stars, and made everything look dark. You couldn't even see daytime. Remember the Canada fires that just happened? It brought famine, thirst, and disease upon the people because of all this. So when it talks about a third of the sun, a third of the moon, a third of the stars, all that turned dark, it's from the smoke and the fire from the burning city. So here's trumpet 5, Revelation 9:1. The stars fall and open the abyss. The locust came out of the smoke, given power like scorpions, not to harm the grass, plants, or trees, only harm those who were not sealed on their foreheads, and only torture them for 5 months. The king of them was the king over them called Apollyon. So this is who Abaddon or Apollyon is. I will explain who he is. So Apollyon is Vespasian's son Titus, the commander of the Legio Apollinaris, the 15th Apollyon Legion. So that's why in the Bible it says Abaddon or Apollyon, because they were from the Apollinaris Legion. So it says that they were given power to torture for 5 months. Actually, in this battle, if you'll read about it, the War of the Jews from Flavius Josephus, it was exactly 5 months that these people, these military people, came in and tortured these Jews and all these Christians for 5 months long. So let's go to number 6, Revelation 9:13. It's the releasing of the 4 angels that bound the river Euphrates to kill 1/3 of mankind. The number of the troops were 20,000. I know some translations say it's a 20 million, but I want to show you how that's a mistranslation. So I went to my Bible Hub and I pulled up the different translations here about the 200 million. You notice that the King James Version says twice 10,000, 10,000. So if you did 10,000, 10,000 twice, that wouldn't be a 200 million. So the New Living Translation says 200 million, but the NIV says twice 10,000 times 10,000. So I went to the interlinear for the 10,000. So it's twice times 10,000. And the word is myriadon. Or myriad. So it's only 10,000. So if you have 10,000 times 10,000, that's only 20,000. So here it says an indefinitely large number, but strictly means 10,000. Okay, so it's not 200 million, you guys. It's only a 20,000 man army. And so in the War of the Jews, Flavius Josephus specifically says it's a 20,000 man army that comes over to Jerusalem. You guys can look all this stuff up in history. What I'm telling you is truth. So let's go over to the bowl. It's the final battle on Jerusalem, and that's where the 20,000 soldiers cross the Euphrates River and destroy from Parthia. 4 Roman legions participate in this. You guys can look all this stuff up in history. As I said, it is true. So the Euphrates River had to dry up for this 20,000 man soldier to cross over into Jerusalem. Now the last one, number 7, the 7th trumpet, is Revelation 11:15 and on. Voices from heaven, flashes of lightning, thunders, earthquakes, and hailstorms. The bowl, fall of Jerusalem and the temple. So God's voice is heard from heaven proclaiming that it's done. Lightning, thunders, and earthquakes are recorded in the War of the Jews. And 3 rebel factions took over at this time. It says that it was divided into 3 parts. So these 3 factions of rebellious people take over. Many people were sold into captivity. And then the 100-pound stones from the catapults come over that they painted white and finish the destruction of the temple and the rest of Jerusalem. So I want you guys to look all this stuff up in history. One website I recommend is revelationrevolution.org. They go through and show you scripture by scripture how it was fulfilled in 70 AD. And they take you to every place in history that shows what you need to know. God bless you guys.